Once Jericho called me, I called the WWE attorney. And I was like, look, bro, like this guy's not happy. His contract is expiring soon. Can I have conversations with him? And the lawyer, the WWE lawyer, told me, as long as you only discuss after his contract. Bro, Sean would get right in Taker's face and like literally looking up right in his face, because in Sean's mind, he literally believed I can beat you. He literally believed that. So he never backed down. And somehow, some way, bro, even if he got beat, he gave him the fight of his life and it went, toe to toe. I don't feel that with Johnny Gargano. I felt that with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
You got to put that 100% right.
Indeed. All right, so let's talk about when it comes to Chris Jericho. We're going to go throwing down memory lane. So, Vince, you have spoken about this, but never so much in detail. How did you get Chris Jericho to become a member of the WWE roster in 1999?
Ooh.
Yeah, bro, I was having conversations with Chris Jericho while he was on Nitro. And, he was not happy with what they were doing with him and his character. So I don't know how the initial hookup happened, bro. I guarantee you it would have had to happen with Jericho calling me, because I don't think I would have taken that chance. So once Jericho called me, I called the WWE attorney. And I was like, look, bro, like this guy's not happy. His contract is expiring soon. Can I have conversations with him? And the lawyer, the WWE lawyer, told me, as long as you only discuss after his contract. Like, Chris, your contract, when your contract expires in October, what do you plan on doing after October? That is legal and on the uppity up. So that's literally what we discussed, bro. So, I knew, he wasn't happy. His contract was up. He contacted me. It was cool and legal for me to talk to him. We had several conversations talking about what was going to happen when his contract expired. Bro, we discussed the countdown. We did the entrance. Like, we were discussing.
Whose idea was the countdown, by the way?
Bro, I can't recall 100%, but I do think it was his. And bro, I also want to say, because he always gets crapped on, a lot of that was Kevin Dunn and WWE production. A lot of that was them. They came up with a lot of that. But Chris was giving his influence, Y2J, the whole 9 yards. And what did we do with him, bro? We see the way characters are introduced on TV today. What did we do with him, bro? He interrupted The Rock.
That was so awesome.
Yeah, that's how those are the moments, bro, you never forget.
Go ahead, East.
That's why I'm sitting here, moments like that. And we do not have these moments anymore. It's just baffling.
Yeah, I agree. Along those lines, because it made perfect sense. I mean, the timing was perfect, because if I'm not mistaken, I heard that he just started to get super just bothered by his direction in WCW.
He wasn't happy.
He was feuding with Goldberg. He was wanted to feud with Goldberg. Goldberg was budging. Yes, and then he was a part of they were doing like a collab with MTV, and they was having them wacky beach brawls and stuff like that. The battle royals that it was just super weird. No one knew, like, when they were doing that collab, it was just random names they were just putting together. It was just all over the place.
I remember the Goldberg thing too was kind of like, it was happenstantial, and he was a guy for Goldberg, but then something happened. So as a creative guy that he is, he like started pitching all these ideas.
Yeah.
And like he had to take it to Goldberg, and Goldberg was like, I don't know, you know.
And he wanted Goldberg to just absolutely obliterate him.
Right, but just in a really creative way, like
Yeah.
over and over again, to the point he would have got even more over because it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And then they were going to do it, I think. And then one day he showed up and they're just like, we're not doing it. And that was the death knell.
That's something. Yeah, and so I think the timing was great, man, because at that time it was the big Y2K meltdown, you know what I mean, as far as people getting fear that all of their computers are going to crash, you know, the turn of the millennium. And so it was really interesting. Now, I believe it was August of 99, like, you know, over 4 months away from the turn of the year. Why like August? Like, why not like further down, closer to the millennium turning over? Why like that August Raw episode instead? Like, what was so specific about
Just that's when it was first available.
Okay.
That's when he was first. And bro, I'll tell you. And here's another thing that I will tell you, Chris. Bro, I went to WCW the end of September of '99. Okay, bro. Ed Ferrara and I had written the show. The show was already written. We were meeting with WCW over the weekend. They had Raw. We already wrote the show. Bro, in that show, we had Jericho beating The Rock. Bro, it would have put a rocket on his backside and he would have gone through the roof. We left, bro. That was the only thing they changed on that show. And bro, it literally took them 2 years to get Jericho over. Yeah. Whereas if they would have done that night, they would have gotten him over 2 years quicker.
Yeah, they put him in the mid card. But I think he was feuding with Road Dogg shortly after that when y'all left, and it was just like mid card feuds. And then they threw the China and Hardcore Holly and feuding with them. And I think Benoit, I think he had the match at WrestleMania. It was like, wasn't like a ladder match. It was like a European championship and
the Intercontinental
Championship, you know, ladder match.
And that was out of spite too, bro, because they kind of knew he was my boy. And when Vince left, well, Vince's boy is gonna get it, bro.
So they put him in the mid card. Yeah, he didn't.
Fuck. Yeah, he was of crazy people.
They're crazy people, bro. They put Vito. They
have to work,
bro. They hired Vito Lograsso and put him in a dress because they knew he was my friend. Like, really, guys, really.
Wow. Yeah, it took him over 2 years because
I know this man.
He didn't win the world championship until December of 2001. All right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Chris, 2 years they wasted to get to that same exact spot.
Wow. Yeah. And you already had it on a platter for you. You know, with the countdown was one still to this day.
Yep.
You know, that was over nearly 24 years ago.
Do you think he was ready though then? Because I remember reading his book and he talks about
he didn't think he was.
It seemed like he talks about that promo and like he was so
he didn't like it. Yeah. He
was like, I kind of knew I was I didn't learn the right way, or like WCW was such a complacent place you can just get by, like AEW. Like, you know, there's nobody holding you accountable. There's nobody like in charge of you, where he goes and does this promo that he thinks is really good. And it was really good. But
he didn't like his facials though.
Right. Then The Rock fired back and he was like, dude, I was acting like an idiot. My face sucked. And it's like, he didn't understand the gravitas and the need of a top guy to be able to, you can entertain us and make us laugh, but when shit gets real, they got to be serious.
Yeah. I still think he could have recovered quickly from that, though. Yeah. I think he could have recovered quickly from that. I still think he had it on a platter. I think he could have been coached, you know, when he went backstage. I don't think that promo was. I don't think it was bad at all, really. No. You know, everybody are their own critiques. People who are all about getting better, and even to the point of perfectionism, which isn't a good thing for the most part. They're their own worst critics. And so it's easy for him to look back at that and be like, ugh, you know, and get cringe, you know, and talk about how he didn't like his facials. But that's not something that like an average, audience member really looked at it.
Yeah, that's being a perfectionist.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
really is. Yeah.